statements. Are there any private member statements? I call the member for Vaucluse.
Mr Acting Speaker, I'd like to update the House on recent community efforts to secure better ferry services for the Vaucluse Electorate. Our home in the Vaucluse Electorate is a peninsula, and travelling in and out of the electorate on the three age-old arterial roads is challenging, with traffic congestion during peak hours snaking its way east and west. Travelling by ferry is a unique and pleasant public transport option available to the residents in the area I represent. It's quick, it's efficient, and it's a very pleasant way to travel to the city or other destinations from the city. Improving ferry services not only benefits ferry customers, but it's an important way to help ease traffic congestion on our local roads. And I know many residents in the electorate are very keen to see additional local ferry services at eastern suburbs ferry wharfs, Rose Bay, Double Bay, Darling Point and Watsons Bay. I've been working closely with the Minister for Transport, Gladys Berejiklian, in my campaign to secure better ferry services, providing her with regular feedback from ferry customers so she's aware of their specific needs. The Minister for Transport's announcement of additional ferry services on the 22nd of May 2013 is an important first step in improving our local services. I know that residents in the Vaucluse Electorate, and indeed ferry customers across Sydney, will benefit from the short and long-term commitments outlined in the state's first plan for ferries, Sydney's Ferry Future. More than 50 new services per week across the network are planned in the new timetable, which will be released in October. And we know there will be an increase in peak hour commuter services for Rose Bay, Sydney's third busiest commuter wharf, as part of those new services. But there's more to do to improve our local ferry services. And that's why I've been working with my local community to better understand the specific ferry needs of customers in the electorate and make sure that the Minister for Transport clearly understands those local needs. In June 2013, I presented a petition to this House which over 500 residents signed, calling for improvements to our local ferry services. The petition was driven by three local residents, Mrs Beverly Brandon, Ms Deanna Musteloni and Ms Jennifer Turner, and I want to take this opportunity to thank that group once again for all the efforts they went to in collecting over 500 signatures. I thank the Minister for her response to the petition, and I know it will form a very important part of ensuring that ferry customers in the Vaucluse Electorate get the best outcome in the new timetable. Since the petition was lodged, I've also been regularly visiting Rose Bay, Double Bay, Darling Point ferry wharves and door knocking in Watsons Bay, seeking feedback on how to best improve our ferry services and asking my local residents what they'd like to see in the new timetable. Yesterday, I was at Rose Bay Ferry Wharf to speak to residents on the first day of the rollout of the Opal card on the Eastern Suburbs Ferry, which was a good day indeed. I've also called for residents' views through my local paper, the Wentworth Courier, my newsletter, through my website and also on my Facebook page. And I've been really very pleased with the response, with many calls to my office, emails, comments on my website following these activities. On June 24, 2013, I personally sent a letter to every enrolled resident in Watsons Bay, Rose Bay, Vaucluse and Dover Heights, seeking their feedback on all local ferry services. Again, I was really pleased with their response to my letter. I've now collated all that feedback and provided it to the Minister as of this week. And I further want to strengthen our argument for the need for better local ferry services. Broadly speaking, residential feedback to date falls into a few main categories. Residents tell me loud and clear they want more services from all Eastern Suburbs ferry wharves. They want an increase in evening services so they can get home after work or an evening out in the city. Many residents want to see commuter ferry services to and from Watsons Bay. And residents want to see better public transport connections to the ferry wharf so they can leave their car at home and avoid trying to find a park right near the local wharf. Thank you to all those residents who've taken the time to provide me with valuable feedback on our ferry services. I want to assure them in this House that I will continue to work with the Minister for Transport so that she clearly understands our local ferry needs as I continue to campaign for better ferry services for my whole electorate. I want to thank the Minister for her efforts to date to make sure that Sydney has a world-class ferry service it indeed deserves. I commend my private member statement to the House.